What up, people? It's the College Football Hangover podcast on I Live for Saturdays. Follow us on Twitter at I Live for Saturdays. 4 is in the number 4. And in life, if you have a good family, you have good leadership, your dad and your mom are smart, they have a good financial plan. If the kids are hungry, they go out, buy milk and eggs, some meat, maybe some bread for some sandwiches. Bad family, the dad goes buy out $100 bottle of vodka. He goes buy out Ciroc. And that's what the draft's all about. Making good decisions for your family. Making good decisions for your organization. And I'm being joined today by my cousin Eric. We're going to do kind of like a grade thing. Overrated, underrated type thing. I'm here with my cousin Eric. Say what's up.
Hey, America. How's it going?
Yeah, so this is his first podcast. It's my second podcast, but we're excited to be here. We're just going to get right into it, and we're going to talk about our top 2 best. We're going to try to make this a really quick podcast. We're going to talk about our top 2 favorite teams. So, Eric, what was your first team?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start with the Tennessee Titans out of the AFC South. Now, I know their decisions weren't too difficult to make. What I believe is going to be the best quarterback to come out of this draft, or at least I'm hoping, and Marcus Mariota. And my own personal receiver that I've been following since he was, I think, being recruited for colleges, the Royal Green-Beckham. I really like the direction of this team. I believe Ken Wisenhunt is the right coach to be there, to develop Mariota. His skills are raw. They don't need him to start right away. They can give him time. Doyle Green-Beckham as well is going into a situation that already has Kendall Wright and Justin Hunter, who I believe are good receivers. And all he has to do is stop smoking weed.
Yeah. I like Marcus Mariota, and I think it was Greg Cosell who said he's the best quarterback in this draft, even better than Jameis Winston. I think he's being, the whole college thing that he played in the college system is being overplayed, but, it just, hopefully it works out because I think he's a lot of fun to watch. My number 1 team was the Steelers. Bud Dupree, I think he's a risk. I think he's a good player. But I think the Steelers are really smart. I think you could never have enough pass rushers. And I think just the Steelers are a great organization. They're just always going to make great picks. If the Jets took Bud Dupree, I'd question it. But it's the Steelers. And I love Senquez Golson. I love Sammy Coates. I love Dorian Grant. I think Anthony Chickalo, he'll make the team. Probably on special teams. And I love Gerard Holloman. I think he's going to be the steal. I think he's by far the best round 7 pick. I think by far the Steelers are the best, for me at least. I think Senquez Golson is not going to replace Troy Polamalu because I think he'll be a safety. I hope he is a safety. I think he'll be a great safety. But he won't replace Troy, but I think he's going to be great for him, a great replacement, and I think he's going to be really good. What was your second one?
Well, my second pick, and I'll probably regret this a few years down the line, is the New York Jets. I was a huge fan of Leonard Williams. I love versatility in the NFL, the way defenses are going. There aren't just pure pass rushers or pure run stoppers anymore. You need to be able to do it all. And I feel Leonard Williams is going to a situation with Todd Bowles, who is just one of the better defensive minds in the NFL right now. He has an opportunity to just be a situational pass rusher, run stopper, and I feel like it was just a really great fit. He couldn't have gone to a better situation. And I was telling Ricky earlier, so many times in the NFL or other pro sports, it's all about the situation you end up. These aren't terrible athletes. They're here for a reason, but when you go to the wrong place, it'll just destroy your career. And I feel Leonard Williams has an opportunity here, surrounded by a great cast on his offensive side, to really make a big difference. Devin Smith, I thought was a great pick. I'm a Badger, at heart, and I saw him and Braxton Miller tear my team up. It was awful. It broke my heart, and I just was thinking like, wow, that guy's gonna be great at the next level. So Jets are my pick. I kind of like the Bryce Petty pick. You know, quarterbacks are such hit and misses these days. You know, maybe it works out for the Jets. Maybe they find their Tom Brady and rewrite history. But you know, only time will tell.
Honorable mention, most overrated player for me is Bryce Petty. So that's just me, from what I see. We're gonna do what's next? Oh, most underrated player. What was your underrated player? You know what? I'll go with my first one, underrated player, because I love this kid. Kenny Bell. I think he's amazing. I love him. I think you saw him play Wisconsin, Big Ten championship. He knocked out a dude with his shoulder. This kid's like 180 pounds soaking wet, but he hits like he's like 250. Kid's awesome. He's a wide receiver, for God's sake. He can run block. I think he's going to make a team. He's going to be a special teams player. He's going to do something, and I think he's going to be a great player for the Buccaneers. Also, he was a captain. He does all the right things for his team. He's a real, true leader. He's an underrated pass catcher, obviously. He's a wide receiver, but he's an underrated wide receiver. There was a lot of great receivers in this draft, but I think he could be a slot receiver. He could probably be, I don't think he'll be a number 2, but he's going to do something for a team. He's going to be a big impact to the team. I think the fans are going to love him in Tampa Bay. I really do. I think he's a great player. He's awesome.
I think the other thing we can't forget is, you know, he's joining a receiver squad that has Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans, and a quarterback in Jameis Winston, who many are, like, you know, Todd McShay giving him one of the better grades he's given to any quarterback since Andrew Luck. So, I mean, he's going to a situation where he's going to have a chance to make some impact plays. And if not, Lovie Smith's a hell of a special teams coach, too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I love Kenny Bell.
My underrated pick, and I'm going to be a little biased here. And I know it's going to be hard to be underrated when you're picked in the top 15. But I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon.
YOLO.
You know, I feel Melvin Gordon has been playing second fiddle to Todd Gurley, who, little plug-in, he's my overrated player, and I'll get more into that a little later. Wisconsin running backs have taken a big hit in the last 10 years. You know, starting with Ron Dane in the early 2000s, just ate his way out of the league. You know, there's John Clay, who is just a beast in college, and then I think he caught 2 balls, I think, in the NFL for the Steelers, and fell a few times and probably fumbled. Then we have Monty Ball, who I think set the all-time, like, rushing record for touchdowns in NCAA history. And he can't seem to stay in the field. I thought he was going to be great. Something about Melvin Gordon I feel is going to be different. You know,
I think he's awesome. I think Melvin Gordon's awesome. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to get easily 1,000, 200, 300 yards. Easily. I think he's a great player. He's going to get touchdowns. He has Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is going to love him. And I just think he's great. I think anyone who uses the Wisconsin running back argument, I think you're just dumb. You just got to watch this kid play. He's awesome. He's going to be amazing. So we're going to take an intermission. We're going to call up my boy, DonV, special guest. Let's see if he picks up. Hopefully he does. Let's put it. Oh, let's put it. Vito.
Yeah.
What up?
What's up?
What up, dude? Did we call you late?
Nah, you straight.
We had technical difficulties. We were trying to fix this. But yeah, welcome to the College Football Hangover podcast. What up, bro?
What's up?
Oh yeah, the Niners. What you think about the Niners draft?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
To be honest, you can't judge a draft after a day or 2 days with.
No, for sure we don't. We talked about that. Yeah.
It is just a move. It was just some moves that I just feel like I just didn't understand. Like you draft a punter because you take a safety. We've taken a safety high in the last 3 drafts. Like, it's stuff I didn't understand. Like I said, it's hard to judge a draft after a day. I don't work in the office, so
For sure. But were you happy or were you? How'd you feel after all the picks? Do you feel confident?
No, not at all. I did like the Eli Harold pick. I like that one a lot.
Yeah? UVA?
Yeah.
Cavaliers?
Yeah.
757 though.
Yeah.
Shit. Who did you think? Who was your favorite team that you guys picked? The in the draft that you saw. Who was the favorite team? Who do you think they're the best?
Oakland Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders.
Easy. Oakland Raiders.
Oh shit.
Easy. When you got a franchise quarterback like Derek Carr, and you get him Clive Wolford, and you get him Amari Cooper, and you get him offensive line help, hey, they getting it together in Oakland. Like they gonna be scary in 2 years.
Yeah, I had him. We were gonna do top 3, but I had him as my honorable mention. I was about to say Oakland Raiders too, but who do you think did the worst?
The worst? Like they had the worst draft. I mean, I didn't like the 49ers draft at all. So.
After the 49ers, who do you think did the worst?
I don't know what Philadelphia's doing. It's hard to put your finger. I like Nelson Aguilar, but after that, I don't know. Do
you believe in Mike Davis from South Carolina?
No, I wanted Jay over Mike Davis.
Oh yeah, I don't know why he was available at that time.
Yes.
Wow.
They said he had like bone in his knee, but it's not an injury. It's just something in the future that could plague him. But as of right now, it's not an issue. So, like I said, I don't know. I would have took Jay Ajayi or David Cobb, but somebody. I don't know. I didn't like Mike Davis that much.
Yeah.
Coming out of South Carolina.
Yeah, I thought by far Jay Ajayi was at least top 5. I don't know why would you. Wow, yeah. I didn't even realize Jay Ajayi was still alive in that time. At that time,
the injury, it was the injury concerns that made him fall.
Damn. Okay, what was your Okay, I'm gonna get 2 questions because that's what we did too. Who's your most underrated player in the draft?
Underrated overall, like at every position.
Yeah, every position, anything, anybody.
I mean, if I can do 2, I say Bryce Petty was one of them.
Really?
Bryce Petty. Bryce Petty got the most. He's probably the most talented quarterback in the whole draft. It's just can he transition?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, my cousin said right here next to me. He said Bryce Petty too. I think he's honorable mention most overrated player. I've seen this dude play, and he misses bubble screens, dude. He'll miss like wide open motherfuckers just down the line, downfield, just straight up, and I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? You have all this talent. I don't think he understands what dropbacks are either. He just kind of sits in the pocket. He kind of reminds me of Graham Harrell. He kind of just sits in the pocket, kind of a guy. He doesn't move, you know. He kind of just like when I say sit in the pocket, I mean like,
Graham Harrell was tiny though.
Yeah, for sure. But in terms of like their movements, here they rhyme the same. They don't throw the same, but like they're kind of like statues. They kind of just stand there. They just kind of snap. They don't really move and they just throw the ball. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's times where I'm like, wow, Bryce Petty's awesome, but I think he was overhyped. That was just me. But who do you think is the most overrated player?
Overrated player? Green-Beckham. Yeah, like honestly, and we all follow college football. We all follow high school recruiting. And of course, Dorian Green-Beckham was the number 1 player in high school his year, and he never lived up at Missouri. I ain't even talking about the off the field stuff. I'm just talking about strictly on the field. He didn't. I never watched a game like BGB's in. He's about to take over. Like I never watched the game to watch him completely just take over a game. And combine that with the off the field stuff, it's like, okay, 2nd round pick. Like this is I don't know. I just think he's getting completely gassed up on measurables and Randy Moss height. And Randy Moss had insane college production. Dorial Green-Beckham didn't. I don't see the parallels, but that's not overrated.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think he's a huge risk for the Titans. Eric, my cousin, said he likes him. It's all right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like you said, we'll see in the future. We can't really judge it today. But I think I agree with you too. Dorial, he's a big risk. He's a huge risk. But yeah, this is Don V. Don Vito. Hey Don, what's your Twitter account?
It's at VTZ from VA.
At VTZ from
all
VA.
One word. Yeah, all one word. Yeah.
I'll put it on. I'll put it at the bottom. Also, really quick. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I don't think I ever gave you this compliment, but I always wanted to say, in terms of college football, I think you say a lot of smart shit like everywhere else. But like in terms of college football, I think like the smartest shit you've ever said was when Marcus Mariota was a Heisman, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna win the Heisman," and you were like, I think you said on Twitter, it was out in the East Coast, Marcus Mariota is just he's just like a fairy tale. He's like a folklore hero. Like you guys never really watched him because they're playing at like 1 o'clock at Eastern time.
11, 12 midnight at night, yeah. And it's like Marcus Mariota to the East Coast is like the tip, especially because I live in D.C. They don't talk. They just say Marcus Mariota good, but they never watch them play.
Right.
So,
right. And I don't.
Yeah.
Either way, if you, I don't know if you're in the East Coast. I mean, unless you're watching film straight up, I don't see how you could say he's gonna be a bust or he's gonna be great. So yeah. But yeah, thanks, bro.
Okay.
Catch up on Twitter. Follow him at VTZ from VA. This is Don V. Sign off.
All right, thank you.
All right, peace. But yeah, that was my boy Don V. He's great. Follow. He's also got a YouTube account. I'll put the link in below. I'm gonna start off with my worst team. Number 1, Texans. I don't know where Texans are going. I have no idea. I don't think they have an identity. I don't think they understand. After J.J. Watt being awesome, I don't think the Texans have an identity. I don't think they understand what they're doing. I hate the first pick they have, Kevin Johnson. I don't know what. I think he's awful. No, I don't think he's awful. I think he's mostly small, and he was probably a 3rd, 2nd round pick. I like McKinney. I love Jalen Strong. I think he's by far the most underrated receiver, not Kenny Bell. I think he's going to be really productive. And after that, I don't know where they're going. I just don't understand the direction they're going. I think, what did you say about the Texans?
The Texans are just this team where you look at on paper and on defense, you're like, wow, they're just going to be there. And then you realize who's throwing for them. And when you have to think of guys like Ryan Mallett and Tom Savage, you can have all the defensive talent in the world, but at the end of the day, you still got to put points on the board.
Yeah, both of us, we don't understand what the Texans are doing. We're clueless. I don't know why they didn't look for a quarterback, unless you really think Ryan Mallett's going to be great. Start out with the offensive lineman, something foundational. I just don't understand the Kevin Johnson pick. You're pretty much saying, hey, we got a good defense, let's help out our defense, but once you're going to get your franchise quarterback in the future, it's going to be too late. Like, those guys are not going to be there, or they'll be too old, or something, So, that was my number 1. What was your number 1, Eric?
My number 1 is the Panthers, and it hurts me because I really did like their first pick. I really like Shaq Thompson. I feel like he's going to, he's going to be a good player.
He's awesome.
I think at his best, he could be Earl Thomas. He could lay the hammer down, could fly around there, make a lot of great athletic plays.
He could be Vontae's birth pick too.
Exactly. He can fill multiple needs, but at the same time, Cam Newton still needs to be able to throw the ball. They didn't address, the offensive line. Do they really think Michael Orr is going to protect Cam Newton? Like, this isn't Blindside, okay? Like, that was a cute story, but this is the NFL, right? Like, quarterbacks need to be able to get protected. And they just, don't seem to understand that concept. You know, the receiver and Devin Funchess, like, you know, they got another 6'5" guy. That's great. He can go and get up the ball. I saw him play while he was in Michigan. Maybe his quarterback was just bad. I was just never that impressed by him, and he got a lot of love from a lot of Michigan fans, but, you know, when your team sucks ass, you know, you probably just look for the silver lining. And it's going with that. I don't see the silver lining for the Panthers. They're wasting some of Cam Newton's prime years.
Yep.
And
Sure.
I've seen it here in Chicago. What happens when you don't protect your quarterback? You know, great quarterbacks become just above average, and average quarterbacks become bad. You know, and for the Panthers to continue to trend upwards, and if Ron Rivera wants to keep his job, he needs Cam Newton to be great. And you can't do that if you're on your ass.
We talked about before the show, maybe Shaq Thompson could play running back, and he could block for him too. I think Shaq Thompson can do everything. I love Shaq Thompson, but same thing. What the hell? We don't understand what Carolina's doing. Second worst team, and we probably should have just made it as like we did second and then the worst team, but you know we're not that organized right now yet. But second worst team, I had the Falcons. I don't like a lot of Clemson defensive players, and I'm a Virginia Tech fan. We watch ACC a lot. Virginia Tech fans, we're very non-biased. We'll even make fun of our own team. And when we look at other teams, we know their weaknesses. And I don't like Clemson defensive players ever. The one player I think I like ever on the defensive side of Clemson is Stephon Anthony this year. I really like him. But Vic Beasley, he has all the measurables. He's probably they were calling him, who said it? Mike Mayock, the best athlete of all the edge rushers. But I'm watching him on film. I don't see him dominate. I don't see him take over games. I see him missing tackles, dudes slipping out of his arms. I just always think Clemson defensive players are just soft. They're just really soft. I just don't like that pick. Jalen Collins is solid. I like Jalen Collins. And then I like Tevin Coleman. I like Justin Hardy. I like a lot of these guys, but they're all undersized players. Yeah, I like those guys, but I just feel they're all undersized. And you can only have so many undersized guys. You can only have so many Devin Hesters on your team. You know, you gotta have big guys. It's the NFL, man. It's just, it's common sense. It's not, I'm not an NFL expert on that. It's just I don't have to be an NFL expert to understand that. Or you have to have big dudes. And I like Justin Hart, I like Tevin Coleman, but they got to go on teams where there's already a bunch of big-ass dudes. The Patriots, a great team. Green Bay Packers, where they can use them. Teams like that. So I hated Atlanta's draft. I thought they just made bad picks. Just straight-up bad picks.
Yeah, going off that, I'm gonna hate hard right now on the St. Louis Rams because we're going to transition to this, but my most overrated player is Todd Gurley. And I'll go in a little bit more of that, but I want to talk more about why I thought the Rams possibly just shot themselves in the foot with this draft. They had an opportunity to continue to improve their team. I've liked the direction they've taken in the last couple years, just taking so many defensive linemen. I love the Aaron Donald pick last year. I love them getting Nick Fairley. I like Jeff Fisher as a coach. But what are they doing on offense? They had Sam Bradford. They had Tavon Austin. They signed Jared Cook. They just don't seem to be able to develop players on offense. And then they take a guy like Todd Gurley, who I believe can be a transcendent talent. But he just went to probably the worst situation he could go to. Who's blocking for him? What weapons are they going to be able to use? Everybody in the world is going to know they're going to run the ball. And Jeff Fisher's just going to keep running him where he's just going to be essentially ineffective. And I feel bad for Todd Gurley. I also don't like their offensive tackle. I'm from Wisconsin. Rab Havestein. The thing with Wisconsin linemen, and some of them haven't transitioned. I see him. He's too tall. And Ricky was just talking about you need big guys, but when you're tackle and you're 6'7", like, you better be able to bend at the knees. And from what I've seen, when I saw him in Wisconsin, he doesn't always do that. I'm sure he'll be okay in the run game, but they still eventually have to pass the ball as well. And I just don't think he does that. His bench press is very weak, and that concerns me. I want my O-linemen to be some of the strongest dudes, but he's putting up 18 on the bench. All right, Kevin White, receiver for the Bears, put 23. That concerns me. You can't be 6'7" and 300 pounds and only be benching 18 reps on 225. So I didn't like their top 2 picks, and those are the picks where you get you fired. And I don't think we're going to be seeing the GM for the Rams there too much longer at this rate.
And in going back to Todd Gurley, and by the way, I love Sean Mannion, but I just don't know I don't think it matters. He's just a good backup quarterback. That's the best thing I think St. Louis did, is he had a good backup quarterback. And obviously Todd Gurley, but again, to what Eric said, it's pretty much useless. But getting Todd Gurley is like getting a bottle of vodka. You just went back, the family's starving, and Jeff Fisher went out and get a bottle of vodka. Came back, hey, yo, guys, let's throw a party. But what does it do the next day for you? It does nothing. What does it do for your future? It does you nothing. Now you guys are starving. The kids are starving. The fans are starving. The team is starving. I think Jeff Fisher, I don't understand. I don't understand the St. Louis Rams. I don't understand what they're doing. So that was Eric's most overrated player, Todd Gurley, because of the situation. But my overrated player was Trey Waynes. Michigan State corners are taught to press. And I think, looking at Darqueze Dennard, who was okay, I don't think Trey Waynes is anywhere near Darqueze Dennard. And Darqueze Dennard really isn't that good. He's solid at best, but for the most part, he's not going to be a shutdown corner. And I don't think Trey Waynes is going to be that either. I think Trey Waynes transitions really well. I think the Vikings move him to safety. I think he'll play decently, but as a corner, I think he's going to get burned. And he's like 180 pounds soaking wet. Again, you need bigger guys. I think he's small. His calves are like as big as probably my calves. I'm 150. I'm 5'8", 150, soaking wet. I'm almost as big as Trey Waynes. So I thought it was a terrible pick. If you transition him to safety, I think it's okay. But you could have gone, the Vikings could have gone somewhere else. You could have got more value. You could have got Trey Waynes. Well, you couldn't have gotten Trey Waynes higher, because apparently he was on people's draft boards really high. But I just don't like the pick. I really don't. I think Trey Waynes is overrated, and there's not much I see him as a corner. So, yeah, this has been the College Football Hangover Podcast on I Live for Saturdays. Follow us on Twitter at I Live for Saturdays. 4 is in the number 4. I was here with my cousin Eric. It was fun. I had a good time. It's hot as hell up in here. It's raining outside, and we gotta eat. So, Eric, peace. Sign off.
Yep. Thanks for having me. It was good times, and who knows? Maybe we'll look back and you guys can pull up the record and be like, "Wow, Eric, you're an idiot. Why would you think the Panthers were overrated and worst team?" But that's the fun part about this, is that I can just make wild proclamations, and if I'm right, I'm gonna go definitely boast about it. And if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna deny it. So, thanks for having me.
All right, it was good times. Peace out.